Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Friday, the 25th of November. Well, let's get straight into it. Well, in fact, let's have a quick recap. I wasn't going to do a recap, so I'm totally off the top of my head. We staked a fiver, or about £5.50, I think mine was, and I had a £1.07 bike. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go to plan. The race that I thought I'd covered with two selections, what a race that was. I think there are only about 7 horses left running, and we'd got 2 of those. I thought, oh, we're laughing here. First 4, and then next minute, was it Encatchment? That one unseated the rider, and then after that, the other runner, something like Right Said Ted, it didn't want to know at all. And then in the end, the nap of the day, Apple Rock won readily, should I say. Obviously, I tipped up at 3-1. What did he return? 6-4, 7-4, something like that. So it's something that I really like, that one. So let's get on to Fridays. So what I'm doing is, you can see 10-1 and SP. Basically, what I'm doing is, on one of the bets, I should be taking all the prices. I should be placing the same bet again, but all at SP. So what I'm going to do, this is what I'm having. I haven't put the bet on yet. As you can see, my account's empty, so I haven't put the bet on yet. I'm having a 25 pence each way Trixie and a 25 pence each way Trixie and a 50 pence each way treble, just to bump that up. And then I'm putting the bet on again. So basically it comes to a fiver. No, it comes to £6. You'll know when you put it on anyway. Yeah, so let's get into the horses. So the first selection is a Buffalo Soldier at 10-1 or SP in the other bet in the 340 at Newbury, paying 5 places instead of 3. I'm not going to kid you. This horse isn't kind of a strong fancy. I've got a bit of a sneaky feeling for it. I think it's crying out for a longer trip. Just a little bit how it ran last time. But also I find it very interesting that it's been kept around for about 4 or 5 runs around 2 mile 3 furlong. Then up to 3 mile in a more competitive race. So I think, well, I say it's a more competitive race. There's some decent horses in it, but I don't think they're that well handicapped. So I think this horse, because it's been running over shorter, obviously it's not been doing fantastic over shorter, because I think it's crying out for this longer distance. Well, we'll soon find out tomorrow. That's why I'm keeping it relatively low stakes. So that's the Buffalo Soldier. The second selection is Turnaway at SP. It's actually given out a 16-1 in the Racing Post. So we'll see what price that is. I tell you what, if it's 16-1, personally, I'd probably take the price in both bets, because it could quite easily be one of these Dan Skelton big improvers, because it did nothing as a juvenile, as a novice. So it wouldn't surprise me either. It's absolute garbage, or I think there could be a huge turnaround in the form, and it could be potentially very well handicapped. Personally, I think he might have got rid of it if it was no good. So turn away. And the final selection is Moonlighter at 5-1 in the 2 at Ffos last, paying 4 places instead of 3. Personally, there is a Ben Pauling horse in there. It's the favourite, but I think it could be a non-runner. It only ran today, as in Thursday. Is it Muchas Man? Well, Moonlighter was rated 142. Well, it doesn't make any difference if whatever you're rated, 142, if you're not kind of running up to that. Well, thinking back now, I think it was about 18 months ago. It didn't quite run up to that. It ran up to 139 as a Racing Post rated. Well, I always classed that as like running pretty much to form. So it's dropped down in the weights significantly. So that 142, it wasn't misguided when it had that rating, but obviously it's plummeted now. It's gone from Henry Daly to Kim Bailey. Well, I think this horse, it ran a decent race first time. Or should I say, it ran a better race. It was never looking comfortable last time. And I think personally, it could be racing prominent this time, whereas last time it was held up. And David Bass, once he gets these horses into a rhythm, is a very difficult jockey to get by. Well, obviously he needs a horse under him, but Moonlight, I think it's only rated about 123 now, or 125, but it ran right up to that mark. So I think they should know a lot more about this horse, and it should actually run much better. So the first selection is fingers crossed. The second selection, Turn Away, is hopeful, but Moonlighter, it's probably the one I'm more going on form. The more likely, the more likely with what it's shown so far to show its form tomorrow, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of the nap, Moonlighter. So anyway, Friday I should be finishing work pretty early. I should be having a real good study. I'll be looking, as I mentioned before, I'll be looking at trainers, jockeys, the race meeting last year. I think Nichols and Gary Moore had a good, a good week last year. Thanks. I think names I didn't check before. I'm so sorry if I got your name wrong. Brian Maguire for pointing out about Gary Moore. Thank you for the feedback from everybody. If you've got anything to say, just leave a comment. I don't expect to say well done or anything like that. If you give me sort of a bit of info that you might know, something that you've spotted, then I can take a look at it, and then hopefully, maybe it might change my mind about a horse for the right reasons, and also make the right decision. So get in touch in the comments. But if you don't want to, that's fine. If you could, the likes are anonymous, so just give me a like. I don't know who's liked the video, so if you don't like commenting, just give me a like. I don't mind. A quick thank you for all the likes as well, because normally I base it on, I'm happy if the likes are 10% of the views. Well, at one point there were, I think it was like 33 or 30%, so I'm over the moon with that. I really appreciate it. So enough waffling. You should get a video for no later than 8 o'clock Friday evening for Saturday. I'm looking to spend probably about 50 or 60 quid. So obviously I'll try and make it as easy as I can for you to split the stakes down proportionally. So obviously if you don't normally bet in that amount, but I want to have a real good blast on Saturday, let's call it, without going crazy. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.